Good evening, folks around the world. Tito the Mag here. I'm sorry I'm late with your full card prediction for the UFC Fight Night Pyfer versus Adesanya, but better late than never. I know most of you don't know me, but I've been watching UFC since the beginning, since it first started, since UFC 1. I'm a big fan. I've grown as the sport has grown, and I seem to do really good on my picks for myself, for my friends. So now I'm sharing it with you guys, the few that care for now, and the rest will come on board. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get it started with tomorrow's picks for UFC Fight Night, Pyfer versus Adesanya. We're going to start off with Alexia Tainara versus Bruno Brazil. Two Brazilians, and that's about the only thing I think these two have in common. I think this fight's going to go it's got to go one-sided, I believe. And it's the beginning of the end for Bruno Brazil's career. And, you know, she's had a mediocre career. She's 11-6-1, is her record. Not to be sexist or anything, but there's not many elite women fighters. And I think Alexia, has all the weapons to be elite. She's on a roll. If you've seen her fight, she doesn't get tested too much. You know, she beat Luke Boom, which is really good, but, you know, it was a unanimous decision, and Luke Boom is, I think she's high up there. I just haven't seen this girl get tested, and I don't think she will. So I'm going to take her for the win. I'm going to take her for the finish. She'll probably TKO her or get another decision, but that's how we're going to start our night. Next fight, Adrian Yanez versus Ricky Simón. Ooh, Adrian Yanez versus Ricky Simón. This is a good fight. I'm not going to lie. This is a good fight, and you know, both guys have something to prove. I think it's a good fight because they both want to come out and prove something. They both want to, you know, Ricky establish themselves, so to speak. You know, Giannis, lately he's been 50-50, win one, lose one. You know, he beat Salvador, but other than that, he's been beat in three of his last four. That doesn't look good. But you can never really count him out. Ricky Simón, he's older, he has more experience, but he lost to Barcelos his last fight. So, I mean, honestly speaking, I think this is probably going to go the distance, unless Ricky Simón catches him in some weird sub. But my gut feeling is telling me that Adrian Yanez is going to take this by decision, just because he's probably seen like the more desperate fighter, and I want to trust him over Ricky Simón. So next we got Navajo Sterling versus Bruno Lopez. Navajo Sterling is another guy that I think has a ton of upside, ton of potential. Just for some reason, I feel like he doesn't let it all out in his fights. He doesn't let it go. I think he's holding back a lot, and I think this fight he's going to showcase all his skills. And why not? Why not against a guy like Lopez, who, you know, in the UFC, he's 50-50. He's lost one, he won one. So he has potential. Not saying Bruno Lopez, he's a Brazilian. You can never count a Brazilian out. But, you know, I think Navajo is on a different, you know, perspective than him. And I say Navajo is going to find the highlight reel KO in this fight. Second or third round, I say. Then we got Casey O'Neill against Gabriela Fernandez. Will this be a regular women's MMA fight? I don't know. I don't see it that way. Looking at these two, you know, it just these two might, yeah. You know what? I regret what I just said. This is gonna go the distance. This is gonna go the distance. And Casey O'Neill, I don't see she has. I think Fernandez is quicker. She has the quick twitch fiber, and I think she's just gonna outstrike her. If anything, she might take her down. I don't think Casey has good the jiu-jitsu that she has, but you never know. You never know. Australian can't really count them out. They've been on a force, but not on the women's side. I think Fernandez is gonna have this pretty easily. She'll either unanimous decision or she might get her in a sub. Who knows? But she definitely has the win. I'd say I'm pretty sure Gabriela Fernandez is gonna be able to pull this one out. All right, so the next one we got Marcin Tybura versus Tyrell Fortune. Poland versus U.S. Let me see. This guy's 11 wins by knockout. He has 1 win by submission, 6 first-round finishes. So we got a striker here who's 17-3, yet this is his first fight in the UFC. And guys, when guys first come to the UFC and this is their first fight, you got to really read what they've done in the past, who they faced. Most of the time, it's not the same test. You don't know how they're going to feel on fight day, on a big stage, against a veteran like Marcin Tybura, who's seen it all, who's done it all. He's multifaceted, has a lot of weapons. He can beat you anyway. Man. This one's tough. This one's tough because I haven't really seen much of this Tyrell guy, to be honest with you. But I can't say that he's gonna. Marcin Tybura in his last fights, he lost to Delia, but Delia's legit, man. He trains with Tom Aspinall. I've seen him before. I've seen his past. Delia's good. He beat Parkin, who Parkin was undefeated before that. He lost to Spivak, but then he beat Denise. So, I don't think. I think Marcin still got it. I think he still got it. He has more ways to win than Tyrell. So I'm gonna say Marcin Tybura. He's either gonna get this guy tired because he's not ready, and he's gonna sub him, or he'll win by decision. Unless Tyrell can prove he's the real deal and make a statement in the NFC, which he could. He could. It could be the end for Marcin, but I don't think so. I think Marcin still has a couple years left in him, and I think he'll pull out the win here. Next fight, we got Chase Hooper versus Lance Gibson Jr. Lance Gibson Jr. in his first fight in the UFC, it wasn't that impressive at all. He had a chance against a striker to do well, and he didn't. He did not. He had a fight against Bobby Green, and people thought that he was gonna piece up Bobby Green because he was a lot younger. Bobby's a lot older, and that didn't happen. Green just outclassed him. Everybody saw it. And Chase Hooper's he's no lightweight. Chase Hooper's no lightweight. He did lose his last fight, but before that, he was on a big streak, and I think he won about maybe 4 in a row before his last fight. So, I don't think this guy has enough to beat Hooper. Hooper's a veteran. I do think it's gonna go the distance. I think these guys are gonna. Here's my prediction here. They're gonna start off slow. It's gonna be a slow first round, not a lot of connection. And as the fight go on, it'll pick up. The activity will pick up, but it'll be one of those nonchalant, easy wins for Chase Hooper. And we'll see what's next for both of these guys. Lance Gibson will probably have to prove himself against, somebody in the lower rankings to try to stay in. Because if it's 3 in a row, and you're not Conor McGregor or somebody like that, then you know what time it is for you in the UFC. But next we got Ignacio Bahamondes versus Tofik Musayev. Oh man, I really do like Ignacio Bahamondes and his fighting style and everything he brings. And at this stage, I can't really go against him, especially after Musayev he got submitted by Orobai easily in round one, almost a year ago. I just don't have a lot of faith in this guy. Ignacio is a guy with a lot of weapons, a lot of ways to win, high energy, power. Everything is going towards Bahamondes winning this fight. I got him winning by KO, rounds 1 or 2, easily. That's easy money there that Ignacio Bahamondes is going to win this fight somehow, some way. He has 3 ways to win. Let's see which way he does it in. All right, to start the main card, we got Terrence McKinney versus Kyle Nelson. Folks, one thing is for sure, this fight is not going the distance. That I can guarantee you. And I'm sorry guys that I'm doing this late. I promise moving forward I will start my predictions earlier in the week, because the next day or two, well, tomorrow I will come out with my full pick, best pick for every fight. Today I'm just doing the picks, but then I'll come back with the best picks, the best possible pick for every fight. It could be anything, any outcome, any round. My number one best pick for every fight. This is it. So I'm gonna give you a sneak peek here. This fight is not going the distance. Okay, that's one thing that I do know. Now, both of these guys like to engage. Terrence McKinney, I don't think he's ever made it out of a fight. He finishes or he gets finished. He's really, you look up kill or be killed, you see a picture of McKinney straight up in the dictionary. All right, which I think this is the matchmakers. Lately they've been making shitty fights. This is one of the good ones. This is a good fight that we're gonna have fun watching for however long it lasts. All right, now Nelson's another guy that's known to throw hands. Maybe he might start a little slow, but sooner or later he'll come on. And it's another guy that's on a hot streak. He did lose to the legend Garcia, but Garcia's on an even bigger streak. I think he's like bunch of fights in a row. Sorry about that, guys. So yeah. But before that, I mean, and after that, he beat Faviola, which not much to say, but beat Faviola by decision. Faviola, I believe, was ranked or was close to being ranked. So, Nelson is flirting with the top, and McKinney is probably his best opponent to the date, and it's not going a distance, but I think McKinney's gonna pull this one out because I just think he has to, man. This guy Nelson, he's on a pretty good streak, but he hasn't been really fighting, tough people. And McKinney, I think McKinney has a better resume. Probably doesn't have a better record, but he has a better resume. And I think he has a better camp, better coach. Not that he always listens, but if he listens tomorrow, and I think he will, they will take care of Kyle Nelson, and they will be victorious. So I'm giving the victory to Terrence McKinney tomorrow. Moving next, Mansour Abdul Malik versus Yosri Balgaru from the Netherlands. This fight, this might be one of those fights that I wasn't too intrigued in, but it might be good. Both guys like to swing for the fences. Both guys are heavy hitters. Mansour Abdul Malik has never gone the distance. So, man. This is a tough one, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I've only seen this guy fight. I honestly haven't seen Bulgaroi fight out of the UFC, so that's bad. My bad. That's not so good journalism on my part. But he did get the win last year in his debut versus Belkov. He knocked him out in the third round. I remember that. So, but that's Belkov. He's not really Mansour Abdulmalik. This is a first round KO for either guy. I'm gonna go with Mansour Abdulmalik just because he has more experience in the UFC, and I count UFC experience over the regional scene. Because if you look at guys like Patchy Mings, I lost a lot of money betting on Patchy, thinking that he was gonna bring his resume over to the UFC, and it just, most of the time, it just doesn't pan out for the guys. It's just not the same. I don't know if the lights are different or, it just is the cream of the crop. It's a different talent out here. Maybe the brights are brighter. But give me Mansour Abdulmalik to win the swinging battle and get the first round finish, if not second round, but this fight's definitely not going the distance. But yeah, give me Mansour Abdulmalik. And next we got Julian Juicy J. Erosa versus Le'Rion Douglas. Le'Rion Douglas. Wow. Juicy J. They gave Juicy J a Brazilian. Juicy J, man, he's one of those guys that he either has it or he doesn't. Big time 50% guy. You never know what you're gonna get from him, but he's won most of his last fights. I mean, he did get knocked out by Padilla. That was years ago. Besides that, he lost his last fight to Costa, but Costa's undefeated and on a tear. But usually Juicy J puts on a performance. He can grab. He has a sub game. He has a sub game. So I like this fight, but I think Erosa's the more active guy. I think he throws more. This Le'Rion guy, he's trained by his fighting style. Everybody knows that styles make fights. So this guy's fighting style, I don't think matches up for Juicy J at this stage of his career. This guy's 13-5. He's 30 years old. Juicy J is 36 and he's a striker. Ah, man, does Juicy J? I think experience is gonna play out here, and I think unless Julian comes out and has a stinker, like he lets his guard down and just doesn't respect this guy, then he could get ended. But I'm gonna trust in Julian. I'm gonna trust in Julian once again. Extreme Couture. You know how you guys. I appreciate Extreme Couture. I think they're a good gym. They most fighters that come out of there are well prepared, and I'm gonna trust that he gets this one done over Douglas. All right, so let's go with Juicy J for. I'm gonna take it by decision. I'm gonna say this goes decision or a sub, either or, but I say Juicy J by decision. Next fight we got Michael Chiesa versus Nico Price. What the hell is Nico Price still doing? I cannot believe Nico Price is still here. I cannot believe Nico Price is still. This is like, why are they doing this? 1, 2, 3. He beat Morano in that decision. That was a terrible fight. I remember that. Both guys were like gassed. You know what? They gave Nico that fight because Morano just had no energy and he just couldn't do anything that last round. And Nico probably, you know, had more energy that last round, and he just that's it. That he had the will to just stay there and win basically. Before that, he hadn't won a fight since 2021 when he beat Oliveira. Not the Oliveira that not the not the Oliveira that's the BMF. No, not that one. The Cowboy Oliveira. Yeah, most of you guys don't even know who he is because he's been out for so long. After that, he lost to Rowe. He lost to Robbie Lawler. You know, he beat Morono. Then he lost to Garimbo. He lost to Smith. And he lost to Veretanikov earlier this year. And now he's probably going to have his last fight because Michael Chiesa's having his last fight. And he's a UFC guy. So, you know, they gave him a layup to have his... How nice. It's good to be friends with Dana. This guy, they want him to go out on top. He's going to be a commentator and has all the stuff planned in his career. And good for him. Good for him. So he's going to sub Nico Price and move on with his career. Good for him, Michael Chiesa. Yeah, get your 100 grand by subbing Nico Price. And I say Darth choke. Darth choke somewhere either first or third round, depending on what Nico Price comes out. You know, he might drag him to the third round, or he might just come out swinging and get eliminated quick because we know Nico. The next fight, we got Alexa Grasso and Macy Barber. This is a good one. This is another real good one by the UFC. Good matchmaking. Very important fight for Alexa Grasso, man. She was another one that was she earned her way. She earned her way to a shot, and she outclassed the champion in a fight. She found a way to sub Shevchenko. Shevchenko made a big mistake that she hardly ever does, and Alexa made her pay. She made her pay and won the belt. And then the next fight, I think Shevchenko won, but they ruled it a draw. I think that fight was in Mexico, if I'm not mistaken. I think that fight did take place in Mexico, but I'm not sure. But they ruled it a draw. I thought Shevchenko clearly won. And then we all know what happened in the third round. The same thing that would have happened if she didn't make that mistake in the first fight. She just came out and outclassed her, got her belt back. And then she lost to Silva, which Silva seems to be another one that's going to go probably be a future champ or challenge the champion. If not, now Natalia Silva. So, you know, she's lost 2 in a row, but she's still good, man. She still has a good camp at Lobo Gym MMA. I know our Brazilian Mexican boy trains there as well. It's a good camp. Macy Barber's on a roll. She's the future. You know, she has a hell of a win streak going on. Her last loss was to Grasso. They did fight back in 2021. Grasso beat her by unanimous decision. After that, Macy's been on a tear. I guess she took lessons from that. She never wants to feel like that again. She's been very vocal. I've liked just the growth that I've seen from Macy Barber. You know, some fighters grow overnight. Some grow year by year organically. And that's what the future has done, man. The future has grown year by year organically. And I think she's going to pull it out tomorrow. I'm going to say Macy Barber wins this by decision. By decision, just because I have so much respect for Alexa Grasso. She has a lot of heart, man. Something's telling me that like Macy Barber is going to sub her. in the end of the second round. I just have a gut feeling, but can't trust that. Most women fights do go the distance, and these two ladies are at the top of their game, and I'm gonna trust that it goes the distance, and I'm gonna give the edge to more the younger, hungrier fighter, and Macy Barber. Okay, guys, if you like my commentary, if you wanna get good, honest commentary, and some fun along the way, feel free to like and add me. All right, I'm not gonna steer you wrong, and I'll keep you entertained. I promise. It's only gonna get better moving forward. This is my first ever post, and it's been delayed for many reasons, and I'm sorry. And I'm here to help you guys out. So follow me on this journey. All right. Next we got the main event: Israel Adesanya versus Joe Pyfer. Man. So body bags. Guys, Body Bags is on a roll. He's won 3 in a row. He did lose to Hermanson on his first 5-round fight. Before that, he was on a roll. So this he's doing what his nickname is, Body Bags. He's been body bagging guys, one by one, finishing them. He comes to fight. Joe brings that Team Marquez MMA attitude. Big time wrestler. On a roll. Then he ran into Hermanson, who's not the best. I'm not gonna say he's top echelon, but this was 2 years ago. First 5-round fight. Sorry, he did take him to the 5th round, and Joe Pyfer just ran out of energy. You could see it. He was overwhelmed. It was his first main event, and usually experience takes over, and Hermanson won. But after that, he's been on a roll. He's won 3 in a row, and his partner, not his partner, but his opponent, I should say, the last style bender, is on the opposite. He's lost 3 in a row. He lost to Strickland. He got super outclassed. He's been submitted by Duplessis after all the crap he talked, after all that going on stage, and we all know what happened. Acting all bad and calling him the N-word and just making him look bad and all that. He got submitted. And then he just got TKO'd by Imavov. So his last 3 fights, he's been outclassed in every way. He's been whooped by all 5 rounds by Strickland. He's been submitted by DDP, and then he got KO'd by Imavov, which those are three of the top guys. There's nothing to be ashamed of by losing to these 3 guys. But you're the last style bender, man. You used to be. There was a point where I thought nobody was gonna beat this guy because he just came in with what. I can't say it was all. He is talented. He is a very experienced kickboxer. But in the UFC, if you're just not at the top of your game, they're gonna figure you out and they're gonna game plan to beat you. And these guys are. This is do or die for Izzy. He's either gonna lose and if he loses this fight, it's either he retires or he starts fighting like non-top guys. And when I mean non-top guys, I mean jabronis, basically. New guys that are coming in, and I don't think Israel wants to do that. So I part of me says that Israel's gonna bring back the old style bender for this fight. But man, Body Bags is ready. And I think he doesn't like the last main event that he had. So I think he's gonna make up for it, man. I just don't see Israel. Israel is good when his back's against the wall and he has to win. Like the time that he beat Pereira Pereira he just came in with a better game plan. Pereira thought that he had him hurt, and he got careless and dropped his hand, and Izzy was waiting for it. You know, let's make no mistakes about it, folks. That's what happened. The game plan was to let Pereira think that he's gonna unleash until he drops his hands, and he clocked him, and he did. And good for Israel, but Joe Pyfer is a different style fighter. He's a wrestler. He's gonna bring the pressure, and let's see how Israel does, because he really doesn't handle pressure too well. You know, Imavov set the game plan for Pyfer, so I don't like the fact that Israel's been training with Rob Whitaker. Yeah, that's nice that they have, you know, they're both Australian and they become friends or what, but is he really the best test for you? Is he really the best sparring partner for a guy like Joe Pyfer? I don't think so. I think Pyfer has more of a statement to make. I don't think Adesanya wants to be on the out, but I just don't think it's going to be his night either way. So I got Pyfer winning. He's either going to submit him and Adesanya's going to retire, or he's going to win by decision and Adesanya will say that something. He'll come up with something. You know, he won these rounds, or something happened during the fight and he got hurt, or who knows. But, you know, maybe I'm wrong. He has been out for a while. Let me see. Adesanya's last fight with Imavov was February of last year. So it's been more than a year. He's had a year layoff. He says he's been working out. He's ready. So he can't use that he wasn't ready. Pyfer's last fight was October of last year. So he's on a regular schedule, man. I like to. Pyfer has the momentum, and he doesn't have the long layoff, which I like. I really don't like when a guy has a long layoff unless he's with Israel Adesanya is fine because he's a veteran. He can deal with that long layoff, but I'm gonna go with a guy that's more consistent, and I just think he's hungry and he's ready. And so Joe Pyfer by decision. I say submission. I say Joe Pyfer by submission, but if he doesn't get it, he'll find a way to just win the rounds, more rounds than Izzy, put it that way. All right, guys, thank you for joining me. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week. I'll try to post my best picks tomorrow. For you gamblers out there, stick around. Tomorrow's the one that you want to definitely get a hold of, because there's more sure bets. These are just the picks for the fights, but yeah, we'll talk more tomorrow. Feel free to send me comments or whatever. Might not look too friendly, but I am. And thank you all for having me. I'll see you around.